me 5. Show me 4. Show me 3. 2, 1. We're working on getting the sound louder over there for you. Thank you. All right, please give Mary Jane your attention.
Please stand for the presentation of the flags led by Cub Scouts leader Member of National Guard James Michael Custis, Pack 359.
Show me 5 again. Our voices are off. Our respectful listening is on.
Please stand as we sing the national anthem. When Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner almost 200 years ago, he called America the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words are as true today as they were then.
Today, Friday, November 11th, 2022, our nation will celebrate the holiday called Veterans Day. To mark this important holiday, we are pleased to honor the men and women of our armed forces with this musical salute. Our President Joe Biden has issued a proclamation for Veterans Day 2022 that states, "I encourage all Americans to recognize the valor, courage, and sacrifice of these patriots through appropriate ceremonies and private prayers, and by observing 2 minutes of silence for our nation's veterans. Also call upon federal, state, and local officials to display the flag of the United States of America and to participate in patriotic activities in their communities.
Today we are honored to have veterans among us, and many of you in this audience may have friends or family that have served or are currently serving in the armed forces right now. Each and every day, countless sacrifices are made by the brave men and women in our armed forces to protect the many freedoms that each of us enjoy. Today we salute you.
To the veterans that are here with us today and to the families of veterans, we thank you and we will not forget the sacrifices that you've made for each of us.
World War I officially... Give me 5. Give me 4. Thank you. World War I officially ended on June 28, 1919, in the town of Versailles, France. However, fighting ceased 7 months earlier when an armistice went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month.
In November 1919, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed November 11th as the first. Huh? What's the other one? As the first commemoration of Armistice Day. If the idealistic hope had been realized that World War I was the war to end all wars, November 11th might still be called Armistice Day. But in 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower changed the name to Veterans Day so that we could honor all veterans. Today we are honored to welcome our many guests to our school today. Thank you, veterans. We are all inspired by your service to our country. Throughout this nation's history, American soldiers, sailors, airmen, Air Force, and Marines, and Coast Guards, and men and women have boldly answered the calls to defend our freedom, to aid back our friends and allies, and to turn back aggressors. We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to the American service members who died in battle or were wounded. Today, it is indeed our privilege to say thank you to all American veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor for them for their sacrifices. The price of freedom is high. We cannot afford to get those willing to pay it. Today, we celebrate American veterans for keeping this nation, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
When America had an urgent need, these brave ones raised a hand. No hesitation held them back. They were proud to take a stand. They left their friends and family. They gave up normal life. To serve their country, they plowed into the strife. They fought for freedom and for peace on strange and foreign shores.
Some lost new friends, some lost their lives in long and brutal wars. Other veterans answered a call to support the ones who fought. Their country had requirements for the essential skills they brought.
This Veterans Day, we salute each and every one of them, the noble and the brave, the ones still with us here today, and those who rest in a grave. So here's to our country's heroes. They're a cut above the rest. Let's give the honor that is due to our country's very best. To our country's very best.
Please, at this time, if you have gifts to honor our veterans, please bring those down now.
Can I have 5, please? 4. Thank you. At this time, it is my privilege and pleasure to take this opportunity to recognize our veterans and those who have served and are currently serving. We honor you for your courage, your commitment, and sacrifice to our great nation. Joshua Long, United States Air Force, brother to Roscoe Bradbury. Gary Hensley, U.S. Navy and National Guard, great uncle to R.J. Edwards. Mr. James Reef, United States Army, instructional assistant here at Hattie B. Stokes. Thomas Reese, United States Army, grandfather of Nandi Makwananzi. Captain Justin Atkinson, United States Air Force, uncle to Kara Thurman. Dennis Williams, United States Army, father to Deacon and Damian Williams. Bill Orth, Harry Blackledge, United States Army. Mike Smith, United States Navy. Mr. Orth, United States Army. Mr. Smith, United States Navy. James Hamrick, United States Marines. Marvin and Michael, United States Navy. Joey, United States Army. Relations to Eva and Leah Woodruff. Sergeant Nick French, United States Army. Relation to Dalton Cheney and Ryan Stambaugh. Jim Redant, United States Army. Father-in-law of Mrs. Redant of Hattie B. Stokes. Mrs. Linda Keller, United States Air Force. Mother to Mrs. Keller, Assistant and Dean of Students here at Hattie B. Stokes. Floyd Bennett II, United States Army, grandfather to Arabella and Ethan Moss. James Thompson, United States Army. Donald Abston, United States Army. William Abston, United States Marines. Charlie Ross, United States Army. Relation to Thaddeus and Abston and Adelaide Thompson. Jim Patton, United States Navy, grandfather to Tyler and Mrs. Overman here at Hattie B. Stokes. Robert Earl Pope Jr., United States Army, great-grandfather to Cash and Colt Campbell. Stephen Keller, United States Air Force, father to Miss Keller. Chad and Ann Zedike, United States Air Force, aunt and uncle to Balin Zedike. Paul Zedike, United States Army, grandfather to Balin Zedike. Thornton Allen, great uncle. Gene Allen, grandfather of Mr. Allen at Hattie B. Stokes. Julian Del Rosa, United States Army, father of me. David Tansel, United States Army. Edward Muncie, United States Army. Adam Tansel, United States Army. Relation to Notley Tansel. Private Justin Baker, United States National Guard. Cousin to Grayson Clofer and Deacon Sullivan. Stephen Fetterspiel, United States Army, son of Mrs. Frankowitz here at Hattie B. Stokes. Greg Williams, United States Army, uncle to Cooper Williams. Dean Johnson, United States Air Force, great-grandfather to Cooper Williams. Mark Alexander Hetty, United States Air Force, father to Mrs. Pierce here at Hattie B. Stokes. Stanley Frankowitz, United States Army Air Corps, United States Air Force, father to Miss Frankowitz here at Hattie B. Stokes. Ray Powers, United States Army, Papa to Stella Powers. John Barnett Sr., United States Marines, grandfather to Xavier Barnett. Lyle Gordon, Army prisoner of war during the Korean War, great-grandfather to Micah and Malcolm Sears. Brianna Colbert, Timothy Colbert, United States Army, mother and stepfather to Isaiah Hellam and Adriana Burns. Milton Simmons Jr., United States Army, great-grandfather to Aubrey and Connor Cully. Charles Cooper, United States Army, also attended Stokes Elementary. Great-grandfather to Audrey and Owen Labrie. Doris Kemp, United States Navy, great-grandmother to Alexander Blaze Kemp. Stephen R. Blueball, United States Army. Charlie Pearson, United States Navy, relation to Joseph Dunbar. Jessica Blosflug, United States Air Force, mother to Kanan and Carson Blosflug. Richard Ammerman, United States Navy, great-great-grandfather to Wyatt Collins. Kevin Myers, United States Navy, uncle to Aspen Lakia. Norman Vance, United States Navy. Eugene Logel, United States Navy. Chris Logel, United States Navy. Ben Stoddard, United States Marines. Philip Logel, United States Air Force. Harvey Burrows, United States Army. Rick Burrows, United States Navy. Dave Burrows, United States Army. Josh Burrows, United States Marines. Ryan Burrows, United States Air Force. All cousins to Aspen Lakia. Stephen Vance, United States Army. Papa to Aspen Lakia. Bill Couch, United States Army, father of Mrs. Redant here at Hattie B. Stokes. Stan Cerna, United States Army, father to Stan and Mina Cerna. Ron Maston, United States Army, grandfather to Colby and Paige Maston. Brandon Webb, United States Army, stepfather to Mary Jane McCormick. Bobby Frierson, United States Army, Corporal Jason McReynolds, relation to Connor Hahn. Jerry Borders, United States Army. Scott Borders, United States Army, uncles to Kate Dallas. Donald J. Pratt, United States Army, husband to Mrs. Pratt, here at Hattie B. Stokes. Danny Eno, United States Army, grandfather of Isaiah Miller. Albert E. Shockley, United States Marine Corps. Francis Perrone, United States Navy. Charles Brown, United States Marine Corps. Melvin Glass, United States Air Force. Relations to Bobby and Mrs. Brown. Tyler Walters, Army National Guard, brother to Kyson Walters. Stephen Blueball, United States Army, grandfather to Joseph Dunbar. Justin Adams, United States Air Force, stepfather to Gabriel Orem. Josh Armstrong, United States National Guard, husband to Mrs. Armstrong, and father to Holland, Parker, and Asher Armstrong, here at Hattie B. Stokes. Nick Downs, United States Army, grandfather to Keaton, Jesse, Kaylee Prickett. Vernon Lamar, United States Navy. Kenneth Bernard Floyd, United States Army. Great uncles to Sienna Kennedy. Michael Thorne, United States Marine Corps, grandfather to Isaiah Miller. Lori Mullen, United States Air Force, grandmother to Lily Maxwell. Steve Light, United States Navy, husband of Mrs. Light, here at Hattie B. Stokes. Ronald Mullen, United States Navy. James Mullen, United States Army, grandfather and great-grandfather of Lily Maxwell. Eric Marshall, United States Army, father to Spencer and Edward Marshall. Ronald Maxwell, United States Marine Corps, father to Lily Maxwell. Sherry Crandall, United States Marine Corps. Dennis Crandall, United States Army. Step-grandmother, grandfather to Aaliyah and Richard Crandall. Matt Burris, United States Army, husband of Mrs. Burris, here at Hattie B. Stokes. Brad Townsend, United States Army, father of Dante and Gabe Townsend. Michael D. Floyd, United States Army and National Guard, father of Harper, Brogan, and Porter Floyd. Michael Wheeler, United States National Guard, husband of Mrs. Wheeler, here at Hattie B. Stokes. Richard Harshbarger, United States Army, grandfather of Mrs. Sims, great-grandfather to Derek Sims, here at Hattie B. Stokes. Charles Amos II, Glenn Cooper Sr., the United States Army. Charles Rafford, United States Air Force. Glenn Cooper Jr., United States Army. Jimmy Cooper, United States Army. Ray Hickson, the United States Air Force. All relations to Justin Radford. William Hammonds, United States Army and National Guard, father to Peyton Hammonds, grandfather to Ray Lynn Roberts. Bernard Petrosky, United States Navy, brother to Roscoe Bradbury. Jack Gregory, United States Marine Corps. Russell Bushman, United States Army. Jack Gregory, United States Marine Corps. Ralph Lindner, United States Navy. Relations to Riley Lindner. Brian Morrison, United States Army, cousin to Mrs. Sims and Derek Sims, here at Hattie B. Stokes. Kenneth Williamson and Charlie Wea, relation to Kellen Woolery. James Michael Custis, United States Marines and National Guard, who presented colors today. Char Chitwood, United States Army, Army Secretary to Dwight D. Eisenhower of the Pentagon. Vernie Chitwood, United States Navy. Virgil Chitwood and George David McLean, all relations to Mrs. Burris, here at Hattie B. Stokes. Brian Hendrickson, United States National Guard, father to Katie and Jericho Hendricks, stepfather to Alexa Ramirez. Mr. Gabe Frishy of the United States Army. To all veterans watching today, present and virtually, We applaud you and we thank you. We would most especially like to thank our veterans for being here today. If you are a veteran of the United States Armed Forces, could you please stand one more time to be recognized? At this time, we will take a moment of silence as we remember those we have lost at this time. I would like to take one last opportunity to thank our guests, parents, and especially you veterans for attending our program today. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mrs. Sims and Mrs. Wheeler and Mrs. Preschel, who helped her. I'd like to thank the choir. You guys did an excellent job. Thank you very much. Let's give them a big hand. For some of you, I don't know if you realize this, but this is our first in-person program that we've had in 2 years here at Hattie B. Stokes. And you know what? I liked it. So, thank you very much, Mrs. Sims. So at this time, to keep the confusion to a minimum, guests, veterans, parents, I'd like to ask you to exit first, okay? And then staff and students, we will take you out by grade level one at a time, grade level at a time. Thank you again very much.